of Nectar of Devotion. And today we'll be doing a complete summarization of what we have learned till now, and especially chapter 1, few important concepts with what I'll say evidences from scriptures for everything that we heard till now on that particular topic. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we'll first of all give our obeisances to the Shat Goswamis. Please repeat after me. Nana Shastra Vicharnika Nipano Dharma Sanstapako Lokanam Hitikari Bhuvane Manyo Sharanya Karo Radha Krishna Padar Bhajananandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatan Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the 3 worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Shri Radha and Kṛṣṇa. So let us see the summary or the synopsis of what we have done till now. So there are 4 parts of the ocean. The eastern part, the Purva Vibhag, is talking about the Bhagavad Bhakti Bhed, wherein we have completed the Samanya Bhakti overview of devotion, that is chapter 1. Next week onwards, we are starting chapter 2 to 16, devotional service in practice, sadhana bhakti. Then we'll be covering bhava bhakti and then the prema bhakti. So this is how it develops. We have seen these 2 important shlokas which we are supposed to learn and recite every day. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukullena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. And the second shloka, which I authorized definition of devotional service, sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktirujyate. So these 2 shlokas give us the explanation about what is pure devotional service and what is devotional service. Bhaktiruttama is the pure devotional service and bhaktirujyate is the devotional service. So important aspects in this is Anyabhilashita Shunyam, that is devoid of all other desires. Anukullena, it has to be favorable to Krishna. Anushilanam, it has to be cultivated by following the instructions of the Guru Parampara. And Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, not covered by karma and jnana. Then Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam, free from all material designations. Tatparatvena, that is taking Krishna as the highest Devanam, service, and Nirmalam, that is faultless. So this is how we are supposed to be understanding the devotional service which you have started now. Then we have covered the 3 primary characteristics of the Swarupa Lakshana, which is devotional services for Krishna. It is an active engagement and it is executed with favorable intent for Krishna. We have seen the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. Kleshagni, that is it gives relief from material distress. Subhada, it bestows all auspiciousness. Moksha Lagukrata, it derides even happiness of liberation. Sudurlabha, it is difficult and rare to achieve. Sandrananda Visheshatma, it brings incalculable transcendental pleasure. It is Krishna Akarshini, it is the only means to attract Krishna. Then we understood the causes of suffering. It starts with Avidya, which is ignorance. Ignorance about what we are and what is our eternal position in respect to Krishna. And because of that ignorance, we have material desires that which act as the Bijam, and then they result in the sin or the papam, and as a result of that, we have the sufferings that we have. But devotional service destroys each and every cause of suffering. Unmanifest reaction is destroyed just like the fire destroys the unlimited wood, because the unmanifest reactions are like a fuel for our future material desires, and pure devotional service destroys that fuel. The manifested reactions, just because we listen about Krishna's pastimes, we chant about his glories, we offer obeisances to him, we think about him. So because of this Navvidha Bhakti that we do, even if we are in the lowest of the births, still we become immediately qualified to do the yajnas. So low birth basically is a manifestation of our previous sinful reactions, because of which we are not getting the advantage of Vedic knowledge and yajnas. But the moment we take to devotional service, it counteracts the effects of the low birth. We get liberated from the bodily concept, and so our existence is purified, and so all our sufferings are automatically nullified. Material desires, the ritual activities which we generally do, can counteract sinful reactions, but do not change the heart, so they don't end our suffering. But what pure devotional service does is, it nullifies the sinful reaction, plus injects heart with desire to serve Krishna. Now that desire to serve Krishna acts as an antidote for material desire, and so all our material desires get dwindled. We no longer are engaged in activities, sinful activities, and so no longer karmic reactions. Avidya, because this is a knowledge, immediately we understand that we are part and parcel of Krishna and he is our eternal master. So it destroys our proclivity to enjoy. We no longer want to enjoy like him. We know we have to serve, so we start serving. So there are no material further, what I'll say, desires which come up. Now coming to all auspiciousness, we understood why it is all auspicious, because it is attracting and benefiting everything. It brings about saintly qualities and it brings about superior happiness. We'll be seeing all these in detail today. When you talk about the happiness, basically the bliss which is derived is intense. So that is why the liberation seems insignificant in front of it. Then we have also understood how it is rare, because we cannot get it on our own effort, and Krishna is reluctant to give it away, because if he gives, then pure devotional service has power to control and conquer the Lord. So Krishna gives us very selectively. We will be going through the details again. The incalculable intense bliss is because it is really incalculable. It is concentrated and it is very dense. Then when it comes to Krishna Akarshini, basically it is a expansion of Srimati Radharani's potency. And so because Krishna is attracted to Srimati Radharani, as she loves him more than anyone possibly can, so definitely pure devotional service also attracts Krishna. And so it is Krishna Akarshini. The manifestation of the 6 characteristics as we progress on the devotional path will be something like this. First, we'll start getting the relief from all distresses. We'll start understanding all auspiciousness. Then we'll have the happiness, because of which we'll derive even liberation. We'll understand how difficult it was, the rarity it was, but then we'll start getting that rarity in our life. Then we'll get that incalculable bliss, and then we'll be able to attract Krishna. So this is how it is going to proceed. Om Agyanti Mirandhasya Jnananjana Shalaka Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsham Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So basically, what we are understanding is how we have to go to that ultimate objective, which is to get Shuddha Prema Bhakti, or the pure devotional service towards Sri Krishna. Because once we get that, then all our problems are definitely going to get resolved. The very biggest problem that we all suffer from is the distress or the suffering, the klesha. And pure devotional service is something which is going to act like a Kleshagni. It is going to be destroying the klesha. So are there any scriptural evidences to prove that yes, it happens something like that? So let us see them today. So what happens is, if you go through the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 58th verse, the verse says something like this: Na kama karma bijanam yasya chetasi sambhavaha vasudeva eka nilayah savay bhagavata uttama. So the translation seems, one who has taken exclusive shelter of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva becomes free from fruitive activities which are based on material lust. In fact, one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord is freed from even the desire to enjoy material sense gratification. Plans for enjoying sex life, social prestige, and money cannot develop within his mind. Thus, he is considered Bhagavata Uttama, a pure devotee of the Lord on the highest platform. Then we also know about the same in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 15th chapter, 107 verse, wherein it is said that Eka Kṛṣṇa Nama, just a second, Eka Kṛṣṇa Nama Kare Sarva Papakshaya Navavidha Bhakti Purna Nama Hete Haya. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna once, a person is relieved from all sinful reactions of a sinful life. One can complete the 9 processes of devotional service simply by chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Further evidences come in the form of the Tulsi Pradakshina. So every day in the morning we are doing the Tulsi puja, and after Tulsi puja we do the Pradakshina, and what do we say? Yani kani cha papani brahma hatyadikani cha tani tani pranashyanti pradakshina pade pade. By the circumambulation of the Srimati Tulsi Devi, all the sins that one may have committed are destroyed at every step, even the sin of killing a Brahmana. One more evidence, wherein in the Nectar of Devotion it is mentioned there are 3 kinds of devotees: those who are eternally on the transcendental platform, nitya-siddha; those who have been elevated to the transcendental platform by the execution of devotional service, that is sadhana-siddha; and thirdly, the sadhakas, those who are neophytes advancing towards the perfectional platform. The sadhakas are gradually becoming free from fruitive reactions. And the moment we become free from the fruitive reactions, would we have any kind of suffering? No suffering, because finally it is a result of the fruitive actions. So these were the scriptural evidences wherein it is proven that the moment this devotional service is going to develop, we are going to be relieved from all the sufferings that we have. So all the kleshas that we have, all the difficulties that we have, all the distress which we are suffering currently, slowly and steadily, as we progress on the path of devotional service from samanya bhakti to the shuddha prema bhava bhakti, all our problems are going to be resolved. In fact, as soon as we perfect on this stage of sadhana bhakti itself, the problems will be resolved. That is what the scriptures have assured. That is what Kṛṣṇa has also said in the scriptures in Bhagavad Gita as well as Bhagavatam. Coming to Avidya, so let us understand how to destroy Avidya. So here again, there are scriptural evidences. So if you go to Srimad Bhagavatam, first chapter, first canto, second chapter, 7th verse, what does it say? Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janaya Atyashu Vairagyam Gnanam Cha Yat Ahetukam. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of God and Shri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. Now, do we need any more evidences? Just render the devotional service and we'll get the knowledge and we'll get detached from this material world, which is a temporary place full of misery. Dukkhalayam ashashvata. One more evidence, because in the scriptures it is said, the explanation which is given is, there are many snakes in forest basically. Now snakes being what I'll say terrestrial animals, they're always on the ground. Now when a fire takes place, all the dried foliage which is there, it is burnt. And because it is burning and the snakes cannot run away, neither can they fly, so the fire attacks the snakes as well. But the animals who have 4 legs, they can flee from the fire, or at least they try to flee, but snakes are immediately killed. Similarly, it is said that the blazing fire of Krishna consciousness is so strong that the snakes of ignorance are immediately killed. It is mentioned in the scriptures that avidya or ignorance is like sarpa, snake. So the snake is always there. It is always keeping us captured. It is not allowing us to go. It has completely entangled us. We are crumbling in its strength, and we are not able to get out of it. But what happens is, the moment we think about Krishna, the moment we want to do Krishna's service, Paramatma who is situated with us, it starts pushing us. And the Krishna consciousness, as it develops, it acts like fire. And because of fire, just like snakes get destroyed, similarly, this entanglement, this entrapment, it gets destroyed. And that is how the avidya is completely destroyed and we get out of the problems. Now coming to how even evidences for this, then we can go through Padma Purana, which explains that sinful activities cause 4 kinds of sinful reactions. One, the effects which is not yet fructified, aprarabdha. Then the effect which is lying as seed, which is kutam. The effect which is already mature, which is prarabdha. And the effect which is almost mature, karma, bijam. So this is something what we were seeing yesterday, mentioned clearly even in the Padma Purana. So Padma Purana is an authentic scripture, and that gives us the first evidence of how it is definitely going to be happening. So avidya, then avidya causing the desires, and then the desires causing the actions, and then the actions causing the reactions, is something which we have seeing, which gets proven by this particular aspect. So that is about Padma Purana. So if you go even through the other literature, there's one more evidence. Like in Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.6, it is mentioned that Yat namadheya shravana anukirtanad yat pravhanad yat smaranad api kvachit swado api sadhya svanaya kalpate kuta punashte bhagavan anudarshana. What it means is, to say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face. Even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him. See the importance of Krishna. It is said that Krishna and his name are non-different from each other. And this is where it gets proven, that we get the same benefits just by talking about him, just by chanting about him. There's one more evidence. If you go through the 3rd chapter again and immediately the next verse, then what does the next verse say? Oho pataswa aso apacho ato gariyan yaj jivha gare vartate namatubhyam te pustapaste juhu sashnur arya brahmanuchura nama granantiyete. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your lordships must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your lordship, they must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. See the benefit. This is one more evidence. How just by chanting we get the knowledge and avidya is destroyed. So let us summarize. The papam, the sinful action. So what does it say? One who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service has without doubt become freed from all contaminations of material sinful activities. Devotional service therefore has the power to actually nullify all kinds of reactions to sinful deeds. So Phalonmukham vice or the Phalonmukham mistake is that which we are maybe undergoing right now in present stage of life. Bijam is in the seedling process by our desires of different types, and Kutam is prior to the stage of Bijam, that is in germinating stage. Now Srimad Bhagavatam 6.2.17 says that Testani aghani puyante tapodanavrtabdibihi nadharmajan tadadhradhyayam tad apishangri sevayam. Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations. So what should we do as devotees? That becomes a natural question. Prabhuji, you have told us everything. We are reading this in the Nectar of Devotion book which you have given us. But what is it there in us for us practically? So practically is, we should not expect immediate relief. That is very important. It's not that we have started chanting today, we have started listening to Kṛṣṇa, we'll get immediate results. No. Because we'll have to first get relieved from the reactions of the past present. A devotee who is not perfectly freed from the results of the previous actions, he has to continue to act in Kṛṣṇa consciousness very seriously. So there will be many impediments, but still you have to continue acting. That is important. Because, and we have to believe Lord, because Lord has guaranteed in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, Sarva-dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Abandon all varieties of religions and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Ma shucha. So Kṛṣṇa has promised. So even if there are going to be impediments, let us not get disturbed by them. They will be there. They will be taking our exams and we have to successfully pass them because Kṛṣṇa has promised that he will deliver us. The problem happens is in our mind, we may still maintain some remnants of previous sinful mentality. So slowly the Lord removes whatever is the last of the enjoying spirit which may be in our mind, in our heart. So for that, what Kṛṣṇa does is he gives us punishments. So those punishments at times may resemble sinful reactions, but we should not get disturbed by them. Otherwise, we start questioning why bad things happen to good people. No, there are previous karma's reactions. And secondly, there must be still something in our heart which is being removed. And for that to be removed, Kṛṣṇa has given us this punishment. So until we are completely perfect, you have to remember there would be slight inclination to enjoy the false happiness of this world. but we should not get deterred and we should continue on our journey consistently. When Brahma, he says something similar. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, in 14th chapter 8th verse, he has said about it. What does he say? Tatte anukampan susamikṣamāno bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam vrudavaga vapubhi vidadhan namaste jiveta yo mukti padapsadaya bhaka. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful. See, so if you are going to be happily experiencing and accepting whatever are the troubles which are there in our life right now, then it would be pleasing to Kṛṣṇa. We will become eligible for liberation, and that will become like our claim. This is what Brahmaji has said. And if you see Bhagwan, he mentions similar thing when he talks about it in the 10th canto, 80th chapter 8th verse, wherein it is said, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yasya Aham Anugrahanami Harishe Tadadhanam Shanaihi Tato Adhanam Tyajante Asya Svajana Dukkha Dukkhitam. The personality of Godhead said, if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. Then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress after another. This is what even Lord has said. So we have to accept it. So if you are getting problems or our problems are increasing, then we should consider that we have become much, much better. We are improving our devotional service. And with this complete test, we are going to be completely out of it. Coming to the Subhada part in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.1.27, it is talking about all auspiciousness. So what does the verse say? Shubhani prīṇanaṃ sarva-jagatām Anuraktatā sadguṇāḥ Sukham iti adi anya akyatani manishi abhi. Next, the second unique characteristics of Uttama Bhakti, namely its bestowal of auspiciousness, is discussed. The wise explain that there are 4 kinds of Shubha auspiciousness: affection for all living entities, being attractive to all living entities, possession of good qualities, and happiness, as well as other items. So, sarva-jagatām prīṇanaṃ, compassion for everyone. Anuraktatā, attracts everyone. Sadguṇāḥ, bestows good qualities, and Sukham, bestows superior happiness. So this is about the Subhada Lakshana. So Sri Rupa Goswami has given us the definition of auspiciousness. And what does he say? He says that actual auspiciousness means welfare activities for all the people of the world. And if you see the Kṛṣṇa consciousness movement, it is so nice that it can render the highest benefit to the entire human race. Everyone can be attracted by this movement and everyone can feel the result. So if you see the book, these are the sentences which are mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. It says, Prabhupada says, a Kṛṣṇa conscious boy, even if he is not very well educated by the university standard, can immediately give up illicit sex life, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. Whereas those who are not in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, although very highly educated, are often drunkards, meat eaters, sex mongers, and gamblers. These are practical proofs of how a Kṛṣṇa conscious person becomes highly developed in good qualities. Whereas a person who is not in Kṛṣṇa consciousness cannot do so. Now this is the evidence. The hippies became happies. And how? Just because of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. They got this superior happiness. Now, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, if you see, once there's an incident wherein which Śrīdhara Kholāvecā, so he revealed his identity to him. And he said, you ask anything and I'll give it to you. But what did Kholāvecā Śrīdhara do? He told Lord that he does not want any material things. He was very happy with whatever present position he was having, and he only wanted to gain unflinching faith and devotion unto the lotus feet of Lord Caitanya. Just think, we had similar situation with Prahlad Maharaj also. When Narsiya Bhagwan asked him, you ask anything, but he had also said the same. So those who become pure devotees, they do not ask for anything, because they understand that that service gives an happiness which is much, much superior. And that is why it is said this is the position of pure devotees. The three happinesses, happiness from material enjoyment, from Supreme Brahman, or from Kṛṣṇa consciousness, is what we studied yesterday. But what happens here is the happiness from devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. Prabhupada ji mentioned that Mayavasi sannyasis descend to material platform again. But there is no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. And so they come down. But the moment you are in pure devotional service, there's no material platform left at all. And so automatically we get the benefit which is eternal. And so he says that we should look for the pure devotional service only. Now, when this topic was being discussed, Prabhupada ji has also documented the various siddhis. So siddhis basically are talked into the primary siddhis and the secondary siddhis. So primary siddhis are the Ishita Siddhi, Vashita Siddhi, Prakamya Siddhi, Anima Siddhi, Laghima Siddhi, Mahima Siddhi, Prapti Siddhi, and Kama Vashyayita Siddhi. Now we'll be learning more about these siddhis in our subsequent chapters, subsequent topics, when we are going to be understanding these siddhis in subsequent chapters in detail. So this is just to make you aware that there are these 8 kinds of primary siddhis and around 9 kinds of secondary siddhis. I'm in any case sharing this document with you so you can go through it in your free time. Now let us understand how devotional service derives the concept of liberation. What is the scriptural evidence for it? The evidence is again in the 3rd canto, 25th chapter, 34th verse. What does it say? Naikatmatam me spruha hi anti kechina mat pada seva abhirata mad iha ye anyato bhagavataha prasajya sambhajya ante mama paurushani. A pure devotee who is attached to the activities of devotional service and who always engages in the service of my lotus feet never desires to become one with me. Such a devotee who is unflinchingly engaged always glorifies my pastimes and activities. This is again an evidence. Again, if you see Narad Pancharatra, there also it is stated that as personal attendants and maidservants of Queen, follow the Queen with all respect and obeisances. Similarly, the joy of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation follow the devotional service of the Lord. So, devotional service of the Lord is just like a queen, and all the other happiness come behind it. In Narad Pancharatra, it is also said that any person who has developed even a small amount of devotional service does not care at all for other kinds of happiness. Any kind of happiness derived from the other things cannot even dare to enter the heart of a pure devotee. It is stated that as personal attendants and maidservants, similarly, all these happinesses follow the happiness from a devotional service. So we do not want anything but service to Kṛṣṇa. And even if we should have another desire, the Lord fulfills this without the devotee asking for it. So this is the benefit. This is the reason why we deride the liberation. Coming to Sandrananda Visheshatma, if you see, if you have studied the metallurgy, or even if you have studied basic chemistry in school and colleges, you would remember that the metals have got dense atomic structure. So because of that dense atomic structure, the things cannot pass through the metals very easily. And so they are very opaque. Now, same thing is happening with pure devotional service. The kind of joy and happiness that this particular devotional service gives to the devotees is very, very dense. It is so dense and blissful that nothing else can compare with it, nor anything can even think of passing through it. So automatically we get put in a transcendental picture. So we are very, very happy. And the evidence is again in Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 1st chapter, 38th verse, wherein it is mentioned that Brahmanando bhaved esha cheta parardardha guni krutah naiti bhakti sukha bodhe parmanu tulam api. So this is also mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Bhakti is composed of a special condensed bliss, the bliss of Brahman realization accumulated by Samadhi, lasting half a lifetime of Brahma, cannot be compared to one drop of the ocean of happiness of Bhakti. And coming to the most important aspect, how is it Kṛṣṇa Akarshit? Now, when we talk about devotional service, what it means is that we are following in the footsteps of Radharani and devotees in Vrindavan, because they put themselves under the care of Radharani in order to achieve perfection in their devotional service. So, being directly under the control of internal potency of Kṛṣṇa, devotional service attracts Kṛṣṇa also. You all know that Radharani is internal potency of Kṛṣṇa. So Lord is self-satisfied and can be attracted only by his own pleasure potency. The yogas, the Vedantas, they are not attractive as devotional service. And the evidence is Pandavas or Prahlad Maharaj. They became attractive to Kṛṣṇa. And that is why they wanted to serve him. But then, though Kṛṣṇa was always with them, he had given them the opportunity to be an associate. Kṛṣṇa directly with Pandavas and Narsimha Dev with Prahlad Maharaj. Because of their qualities, they had attracted Kṛṣṇa. And that is why when Arjuna understood all these things, he begged forgiveness. Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita, "My dear Kṛṣṇa, I thought of you as my cousin brother, and so have shown disrespect to you in so many ways, calling you Kṛṣṇa or friend. But you are so great that I could not understand." Now, this is the proof that it attracts pure devotional service, attracts Kṛṣṇa. And they were pure devotees, and so Kṛṣṇa was attracted to them and was always with them. The position of Srimati Radharani is very important. So if you understand even 1/10% of what Radharani's potency is, we would have achieved a lot in our devotional service. So if you see Radharani, she is the greatest devotee who attracts Kṛṣṇa. And why? Because she is the internal potency of Kṛṣṇa. She is known as Madan Mohana Mohini. Now, Kṛṣṇa's one of the name is Madana Mohan. Madana means the Cupid god. So he fires his arrows, and anyone who is struck, he becomes love stone. And Kṛṣṇa is someone who is able to attract such Cupid. So another name for Kṛṣṇa is Madana Mohan. But Radharani is someone who attracts even Kṛṣṇa, and so she is known as Madana Mohana Mohini. She controls devotional service. So whatever bhakti we think about, that is completely under the control of Srimati Radharani. And that is why if you see the parampara's teachings that we have is, you have to always go through the parampara. We offer our prayers, we offer our service to the Guru. And then we request Guru to offer it onwards through the parampara till Radharani, and then Radharani offers it to Kṛṣṇa. That is what we do in whatever activities, rituals we follow. Even the devotees in Vrindavan, they had put themselves under the care of Radharani. And because they had done that, that is why the Brajvasis, they are the perfect devotees. I think I had narrated the incidents which I had my first, I'll say, interaction with the Brijvasis. When I had visited Barsana as a doctor for an eye camp, and my duty was in the evening. So in the morning there was OPD. In the OPD, I was being a physician doing all the BP checking and taking down the history. A lot of what I'll say people had gathered. It was what I say a mela kind of a scenario, but everyone was completely in consciousness of Radharani. And then those of them who really required surgery, they were selected, their fitness done, and then they were admitted, and then their surgeries were happening. And I fortunately also had a night duty as an RMO. What I observed was they're completely bereft of the material body concept. And though they were sleeping continuously, Radha, 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 that sound was coming from them. If someone wanted to go out, someone wanted some water, whether it is male or a female, they were helping each other, even in sleep. That kind of impact which you get by seeing that, I cannot narrate it in words. And then when next day their eyes are opened, the bandage is removed, they don't want to see themselves or their relatives. What they want is to see the photo of their beloved Radha. It is pure devotional service. They are not hankering after anything. And that is why they are happy. Bhagavad Gita also says same thing. Great souls are under Devi Prakriti, Krishna's internal energy, Srimati Radharani. So we have to accept it and we have to pray to her. So if under the control of Radharani, devotional service definitely can attract Krishna himself, because Radharani is able to attract Krishna. So this is how our service, our devotional service is going to be Krishna Akarshini. And we have to remember this always. And when we remember it, we will be successful. So, Vancha Kalpa Tarubhescha, Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Hare Krishna. I have taken more time today because there was a lot many scriptural evidences which I wanted to share today, so that our faith becomes more strong and we take up to bhakti in a more determined way. So please forgive me for overshooting today. And thank you very much for everyone coming here.